Here is a new episode. Now, this is another one that we're going to get into. This is with my really great friend, really fantastic person. Her name is Danielle Dockstader. I love hanging out with this person. She is so cool. She's great. She's got all kinds of cool stories, a lot of stuff. I mean, this is a great episode, and this is just I can already tell this is just going to be like the start of many to come in the further future. I mean, I can definitely see that we're going to have tons more to do. This is a great episode. I love doing it. It was fun, fantastic, overall great. And it's just something, like I said, it's just another episode that really just like sink your teeth into. So just want you to sit down or just continue to listen, whatever you're doing, driving, walking, working out. Just have a listen and sit down and get ready for a really fantastic episode. And let's get started. This will be the first of many.
Okay.
And just go anytime you want.
Oh, I thought you were like going to interview me and ask me questions. So I just sit here and talk.
Well, we're here like as usual.
Okay.
It's like we're just buddies.
Okay. So, what's new?
That's the most common question I get asked. No, there was something I want to ask, though. It was before... No, it was about when you got into cooking.
When I got into cooking?
Yes. That was the number one thing I wanted to ask was... because I know when I first met you, it was at Ambrose. And I was just like, oh, cool, there's more people here. And then that was it. And I was kind of to myself the whole time.
Then you seen my mad skills, and you were like, I need to know where she learned how to cook.
Well, then I was like, oh, she runs the kitchen. Sort of, because then somebody was like, hey, we're done doing buffet. And he was like, I'm going to make about 2 more pounds of fish and put it out there because we're done.
Yeah, because it's 2 o'clock and, you know.
It's over now?
It's over, but
it's
if
like,
you want to make more, go ahead.
I like him to work at Pizza Hut. So they're like, all right, we're done now. And he makes like 6 more, puts out the buffet. And they're like, what?
Yeah. Cooking probably started when I was young, like 4 or 5 years old. I was always like, my first memories are like sitting on the table or sitting on the cupboard with my grandma when she was cooking. I would sit on this cupboard, my little feet in the sink, and she would be doing her whatever, you know, peeling her potatoes, getting everything ready, and I would just be sitting in there watching. Then when she made bread, I could like sit on the table and I get to help her, like play in the dough and play in the flour. And my little cousin, he used to get his cars out and we'd make like little racetracks in the flour. And so it was always like, you know, food was always important and stuff. And my grandpa, he always cooked too. Like it was funny because my grandma, she cooked a lot of things, but my grandpa, he also cooked, but he was more like the wild. He would cook like the rabbit and the deer stew, and he would always do like baked trouts and fishes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see like a lot of different types of cooking growing up, and it was just always something that I loved because to me, I associate food with family and family with love and everybody getting together and sharing something. To me, that's important. That's basically who I am.
Yeah.
Right, so that's where it started, and then I was like 13, I think, 12 or 13, and I got my first job in a restaurant, like flipping burgers, doing dishes, doing takeout orders. And
do you remember where this was?
Yeah, it was actually at Park Plaza. No, was it Park Plaza Restaurant? Remember their old bingo hall they had?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was there, and they had a little restaurant there, and that's where I got my first job because one of my uncles' girlfriends at the time, she was like the manager of the bingo hall. So she's like, I know you need a job, get in there. Right? I was like, yes.
That's just that easy. All right.
I'm balling at 13 paychecks. Yeah, it was pretty good. So then, yeah, after that, then I don't know. I always cooked for my family. Like we had like get-togethers or something that I was like, oh, Dee, you know, you cook this, you cook that. Then I just, you know, start cooking for other people, and I wanted to have a catering business at one time, but I don't know, it's too demanding, and the payoff wasn't really great because I'm kind of crazy. I can't be cheap about cooking, you know what I mean? So if it's like, oh, you want this and you want this, I was basically not even making money. I was paying money, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yeah, in the end.
Yeah. So then I just wandered around from place to place, worked at Elf's for a while. I liked it there. right? Never had no problems there. It was really good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent menu was always consistent. You never had to worry about what you were going to cook today or what was going to happen. It was just basically just get in there, do your thing, get out, right?
Just like the grill and the deep fry, and that
Yeah,
was it.
yeah. I really liked it there, though. People were great. Boss was great. Um, yeah, and then I just ended up leaving there, decided to go back to school. It's like gonna save the world. I went to like human service foundations. I had this big dream. Yeah, I'm gonna be like social worker. I'm gonna do this, gonna do that. And I was like, no, this isn't me, right? I can't. I'm too empathetic, I guess. I like trying to like listen to these people's life stories, and I'm just like sitting here crying, and I'm like, okay, I should be like the strong person supporting you, but I just feel like I don't know.
Feel kind of bad because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It wasn't for me because I was like, I don't know, personal trauma. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, okay, I can't do this. So I gave that up. Um, then I went to Ambrose. That's where I met you for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Killed it there. Started off just, I think I was a waitress when I started there, wasn't I?
Really?
I don't think
No.
I was a cook.
When I got there, you were a cook. Like you were in the back cooking the whole time. So this was because you were there longer than me. Because when
Yeah.
I came in, it was 2011. 2011, and as soon as I got out of school, college in general arts and science, my brother Robert is the one who was like, once you get a job there, if you're going to go into cooking. Before I was done general arts, I was like, I'm going to do cooking instead.
Because
That's what I'm
Robert
gonna
was
do.
there already, right?
Yeah, he was already there because
Yeah.
he recommended me. And then as soon as I left school, maybe like not even a week later, I remember I got a call from Art and Arliss, and I got in to go to the interview, and I told them what I wanted to do. Then they were like, oh yeah, this would probably work out for you. So then I worked right away from May all the way till the end of August for
Right.
money for back for school, and then learning restaurant stuff.
The restaurant stuff.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
The dreaded restaurant stuff. Yeah.
Because I went in, and that's when I met you, and I met everybody else who would, I don't know, I can't remember who was all still there at that point.
I know. But yeah, it was it was a good place to work, right? Pay was shitty, but it was a good place to work.
Yeah,
It
because
had lots of potential. Menus were scattered, but it was a good place to work. The people that you worked with were good.
I mean,
We had a good team.
I mean, I because it says on a podcast, I want to say this with love to every restaurant in Oneida, but I wish they would take it more serious.
Yeah.
That's my thing to every single place that opens up for food, that you can't have a good restaurant if all your burgers are frozen. Yeah, they're not homemade. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's that extra effort. And I'm not saying this as somebody who is a professionally trained chef, but even if you're a person with business in mind, if you think cheap, you're going to get cheap in business, money, everything. But if you think high, but still have have a mentality to think, well, how can I get money? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
kind of like what you're saying about your catering, that
Yeah.
there's ways of doing catering where you're still going to make money, but to spend money. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that if you go to those high-end restaurants, like even Michael's on the Thames, or I think that's what it's called,
Yeah.
downtown, they're buying, half their plates are going to be cheap in the sense of price-wise, not by product, but by price, because they're buying, because they want to keep their food costs down. So it's just
Yeah.
the same thing like in a catering, that you want to keep it down, but like there's ways to make money, and I wish that they would do that here. Like there'd be
Yeah.
somebody to do it, but I think everybody's too scared. Like they're not going to make money because they don't know how, because they've never been to school for like
Business.
culinary, or business. So that's my thing. So I don't say that to be like everything's bad. I just say that because I'm like, I wish they would just like put a little more effort into it, because I would probably go out more to eat at these places
Right.
if there was like just a little more effort in there. Because like I know, I'm not saying it bad, because I know Elf's has been around for years, ever since I was a kid, and Ambrose is like, it's still going now, but I just wish like there's a few places that put a little more effort into their food is all.
Right. Yeah, because you can tell, right? You can tell when it's like something is just thrown together or whatever. Like, because I know my husband don't like going out with me to a restaurant for dinner and stuff, because I'm like criticizing everything that comes. Like I'm like, I ordered my egg like this, or I ordered my meat like this, and I don't want it this. I'm like, I'm always constantly sending my food back, and he's like, oh, why do you do that? You embarrass me, blah blah blah. They're gonna be mad, and they're gonna like do something to your food, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't care. I said, I came here to have somebody cook for me to what I want,
Yeah, you're paying.
Yeah, and I'm paying for services, so you give me my damn services. Same with a hooker. You're paying for the services. Give me my services, bitch. No kidding.
Just straight up. Come on, do it.
But you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm paying you, then you better do what I want.
That's for every service, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're getting your car fixed, or you got
Yeah.
a plumber coming in your house, someone doing your roof, you want the best job you can because you're paying these people for it.
Yeah.
And if they're cutting corners, then just, it also ruins their business, right? Like if they have crappy food, crappy service of any kind to anything,
Yep.
it ruins their business because then you're going to be like, well, don't go there. And then that spreads
Yeah.
to everybody. So like they
And
have
then,
to
like,
think
my
about their
biggest
service.
thing is a freaking eggshell. Finding eggshell in my eggs, because then it like turns me off of eggs for like the longest time, and I'm just like, ugh.
You know what's weird about that? Is you can eat eggshells.
I wouldn't.
Because it's high in calcium. I'm just saying, like I'm not
Right.
telling everyone, go eat eggshells right now. I'm just saying that if it was to be cleaned, because you should clean those eggs because they're coming out of chicken butts or whatever,
Right.
but you should still clean it. But if it was to be in there and you know the shell's cleaned, it's not that big of a deal. Kind of like finding hair in your food.
Right.
That's really not a big deal, as opposed to like if somebody was to like, you know, scratch their face or scratch their hair and touch your food, that's 10 times worse than like hair going in their food.
Right.
Because like hair's not that big of a deal. Hate to say it, but unless you know it's kind of like curly.
I was just gonna say, what about those, one hairs?
Those ones, the shorter, curlier ones.
Those little short curly ones. It was like, why is this in my curly fries?
We thought you wouldn't notice.
Like the scene on what is it, Road Trip, where the guy puts the freaking
French
French
toast.
toast in his pants.
Like he throws it, opens his pants, and just closes it and just walks
The
around.
guy's like, oh, this is the best ever.
What do you say? He just want powdered.
Powdered sugar.
So he just like licks it off, and then he like throws one in the front, one in the back, and he starts walking out. Here's some more coffee. Just like shakes him because it's so cold.
Yeah. Like that type of shit, makes you think even where you want to eat and when you want to eat out and stuff. And
Because like, yeah, if you go to a little janky restaurant, you're like, looks kind of
right?
like you might worry about the food.
Or like when you walk into like a restaurant and like your hostess is like scratching his nuts or like taking his wedgie out and you're like, holy fuck, did I pick the right place? Like, I don't know if I want to eat here now. And they're like, yeah, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, can you like go wash your hands? Like how do you talk to people like that, right? Like
It's
there's
true, right?
etiquette, right? But you got itchy nuts, go in the bathroom or something. I don't know.
Do it and wash your hands. Or just
And then
don't do it in
please wash
public.
your hands.
Or just don't do it in public. It's like, hold on, before I serve your table, I must go to the washroom and just sit there, just pulling out and then coming back here. I'm ready for you.
Like, how are you today? Yeah, I got some itchy nuts. Like, what's up?
Is there rubbing her hands together looking at you? Are you ready?
So can I get that to go?
I can't. Oh, the worst. This is the worst. Where's the worst place you ate?
The worst.
Recently, because I'll tell you right now, mine.
The worst place I ate recently was the Naughty Pine. It's across from White Oaks Mall, and it used to be fabulous. They must have got like a new cook or something.
That's in that restaurant, Days Inn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's right in there.
yeah.
So
Because they have like this like $5 breakfast special. So we always go there. Me, my mom, my sisters, Trevor, Corey. We always go there. Whatever. That's our family spot, right?
Yep.
So we went there last week, and we were like totally disappointed. Like our pancake was fucking runny inside. Trevor Corey's like cuts her pancake open. She's like, yeah, I don't think this is supposed to look like this. Right? So the freaking pancake was runny. There was like eggshells all up in my eggs and my toast. I always tell them, I was like, I want toasty toast. I don't want warm bread. Right? Like put my toast in the toaster twice.
At 6 minutes,
Yeah.
both times.
Yeah,
I want
both
12-minute toast.
So can it be a little smoky when it comes out? So you know it's done. So my toast wasn't toasty. The freaking eggs had shells in it. The pancakes were freaking runny. Service sucked. Coffee was cold. And I was just like, this is stupid. Right? So that was like the worst place I've eaten. Like this week anyways.
This week. It's usually one out of all the times of a
Yeah.
week. Mine's at Milo's, where that old pizza used to be.
Okay.
That was the last place I remember eating where it was absolutely just... And the food was mediocre. What it was a service.
So they lost their Michelin star for all day breakfast?
Don't go there. Because like 12 minutes to even come to our table and say, would you guys want something to drink? And then like
Wow.
I swear another 5, almost 10 minutes maybe for like the drinks to get there. And then another 5 minutes before they came back to get our order.
Sounds like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I can't remember the last time I was there, but I remember it was kind of slow too. But
My husband hates going there. He's like, I don't know why you always bring me here. I was having a heart attack. I was like, listen, you're just hangry. Calm down.
I was having a heart attack. Stop it!
Like he's about to have an aneurysm and just shit. Like, but that's how it is sometimes there. Like they take forever freaking for your drinks and fuck your orders up. But I'm like, they have tasty wings, so I don't care.
It's better to order them and then just take them home.
Right.
I've done that a couple of times with my brothers. We're all like, hey, let's chip in for wings. Because, like, is it Thursdays? They have boneless, half-price boneless?
Tuesdays and Thursdays are their wing days, yeah.
It's Thursday for the boneless ones,
Yeah.
but we did that once. We all put in, like, money, and then we ordered. One of them ordered, and I went and picked it up. And, yeah, as soon as I went in, they're like, oh, here you go, here's your order. And I was like, it's faster than sitting down. And that was it.
Yeah, I should start doing that.
Like I said, it's faster and it's easier. Because as soon as you go in, you're just like, oh, can I get some blue cheese or whatever? And then they'll just throw it in, take off.
I'd
But
be like, can I get no blue cheese? Thanks.
no blue cheese. Oh, you one of those ranch people?
Hell yeah. Ranch on everything. Ranch is life.
Just like
Especially now, it's like when I eat something, I have to have like
yeah, there's some kind of like
a slidey purposes. I have to have like a sauce or a dippy or something. Or it's just yeah, I feel like I feel like it's like
just like a cat.
Cat and a fur ball, yeah.
Is she all right? Just give her some sauce.
It's like, yeah, Patty and Selma in the restaurant.
It's like Homer.
When we were in the Dominican, it was horrible. There was this guy had like a breaded cutlet or something. I think it was a chicken parmesan. And it was so dry, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I can't eat this. It was, it was tasty or whatever, but it was dry because it was breaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't do this. So I called the waiter over. I was like, yeah, can I get a side of like marinara or something? And I like totally offended the chef, right? He comes out and he's like, why did you want marinara on that dish? That dish was perfect. And I'm like, oh. Like I just felt like kind of like, oh, like intimidated,
He's
right?
calling you out right in front of everybody.
And then he's like all Spanish talking, and I'm like, I know you're talking about me. No. I know what a puto is. No.
Everybody does in this room.
Right? And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, talk to the waiter. I was like, can you tell him? I was like, it's medical. Like, it's not, no offense to his dish or whatever, but it was just like, I couldn't get it down without, something on it, some sort of sauce or something. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
thought,
the bread.
yeah, I thought it would have came with like something on it.
And of course, like longer it sits, right?
Yeah.
Like it harder, it gets
Yeah.
dries up. And yeah.
So I was just like, if I was going to eat this, I had to have something with it, right? But yeah, that was crazy. But those are the kind of the best places. Like the last two resorts we went to, it
Yeah.
was really awesome because you got to like experience like foods of the world or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like I think that's cool too. Like I always thought, oh, sushi's nasty. Sushi is nasty, but sushi is nasty. But I'll eat like the vegetarian ones. And then who was it that called me out? I think it was somebody. I can't remember. And they're like, okay, well, if you don't have no raw meat in it, then it isn't sushi. That's the whole point if sushi is like raw meat or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I'll just take the vegetable one.
I don't know. I don't really see that. I mean, it's still sushi, right?
Right.
People still call it a sushi roll, even if it is like just avocados. I mean, that time, that time Connor felt real left out because me, Kayla, and Josh all went for sushi. And that time, we went to the Heart Sushi.
Right.
And that's when I was telling the guys, oh, get the sweet potato sushi. And then we got that. That's freaking good. Like sweet potato, they have onion sushi, they have avocado, like they have cucumber, they have all like just plain. That's it. But it was good. But what was funny is I remember Josh was like, Connor went up to him and was like, hey, we should go for sushi sometime. And he was like, oh, yeah, we already did. And he was like, what? And he was like, yeah, me, Dagon, and Kayla all went out to sushi like last week. And he was like, and he said he looked real sad. And he kind of like, then like not even like a minute later, he's like, did you ever have one of those experiences where like all your friends are in the chat room except you? I just like felt real left out.
Like like the time you're like, yeah, what would you do if everybody or somebody had this big party, invited everybody, but they didn't invite you? And I was like, what the fuck? I said, what kind of fucking... I was like, okay. I said, well, then I would have like a bigger, better party and not invite that person. I was like, why was I not invited to a party?
Just right away. This is how it's going.
Who the fuck wants to get stabbed?
How long did you do catering though? Because I remember you talked about that before.
Yeah,
but,
probably about 2 years. But just like for family and friends and stuff, I didn't like go out there and sell myself, or you know what I mean, like to the, you know how people like go to these bids and stuff for community stuff. I never ever did anything like that. I don't know. I guess I felt I just wasn't
like you
ready.
weren't gonna win it, or maybe. I wanted to give that a try, see what was gonna happen.
It's fun, right? Like
yeah, it looks. I've seen the board before even I thought about this.
Yeah.
And look, there's like, I don't know, one time I think I saw like 6 different posts for like catering jobs, and
Yeah.
I know there is a list, right? And then there's a bid for like this, you can have this and this and this or whatever like that. And I know everyone has like, I don't know about special skills, but I guess maybe like they know they bring something if they're regulars.
Right.
But.
And then again, it's kind of like, would they want to eat properly? You know what I mean? Like.
Well, what I hear is you have to, sometimes they'll just be like, here's what we want, and they'll give you, like, I've seen the list of like what happens when you get it,
right?
And it's this list of like here's a 2-day, here's breakfast, here's lunch, here's afternoon snack,
right?
And then there's these things, and in between, of course, just fill up the coffee and water, or whatever. But in between these things, I seen that when I did the suicide prevention program, I was there to teach a course, but Candace was cooking, and she had a recipe. Somebody gave her like, here's what we want, but here's the recipe as well. So I was like, oh, okay. So I know some people do that, but I don't think everybody does that. Like, not everyone's like, here's what we want and here's the recipe. They're just like, this is what we want. So there's going to be like a pork loin, there's going to be like ham, but that's it. So I guess by that point they say, what do you want to do with it?
Right.
And then you have to figure out something, along with also picking, we want 100 people served. Right. So then you got to figure out the math for all that. But then I was fine too that everybody always overmix, they overdo product, which I know is not a bad thing, but at the same time you want to kind of balance that. Right. Not just for like budget reasons, because I'm pretty sure they give you the money not only for your pay but your
supplies and
supplies and stuff, but like I'm pretty sure that you just have to think wise, like how much am I buying for just how many people,
and then how many people are actually going to show up, right? Because like, let's face it, we can have like a fundraiser, or we can have like an event, invite like 20-30 people, but in actuality 8 show up. So if you're going all out building all this stuff for 25 people and only 8 people come, like, they're still paying you, but what I'm saying is, how do you like really judge, oh, what should I make? How much should I do? Like,
well, I think that's why they give you that list, right? Of like how many things you should make, or just this is what we want. Because sometimes they just have fruits and veggies tray, or just they'll have. I think I seen ones where it said like a ham, potatoes, veggies. So I think by the veggies, you can actually just get whatever you want, and then that's where I think you buy in season, because you could buy a lot for a very, very, very little amount. Right. And then you just make whatever you want, whether it's squash or Brussels sprouts or, even cabbage, whatever you want to do. Just make something with it. And then just the potatoes. I don't know, like I'm one of those weirdos that's like, it's just potatoes, but do you want mashed potatoes? Do you want scalloped potatoes? If they're like, do whatever you want, I'm like, okay, and I'll just run off and do whatever I want. And then the ham,
just glaze that bitch and throw it in.
Yeah, because they got that super oven there too that we were like almost wrecking. You were like, get in there,
pushing all the buttons. It's like, how does this work?
Get back in your hole. Yeah. Just trying to shove bread in there.
Yeah, that was epic.
But yeah, so like, I mean, I know that wasn't a catering, that was for a funeral. Right. So I know that's different, because some people will be like, can you do this? Right. Or sometimes I know too, like if it's a longhouse, if somebody in the Bears pass away, then the Wolves have to cook. So I know certain things like that work out, but like in a catering position, like they just want you to bid and go into it. So that's why I was like, well, I'll give that a try, because I was actually going to ask either you or Josh, because in my own head I have an idea that we're professionally trained chefs. Now, it's nothing to nobody else on the res, but I'm just saying that we have an idea. We were given the skills,
Yeah.
the time management, like all this knowledge from them to say, this is how you work.
Yeah.
Like obviously you're going to put, you know how fast beans are going to cook if they're already cooked. So if you just got to reheat them, you don't have to do that till like 10 minutes later or something. But
Right.
like if you're going to like do vegetables, fresh vegetables, don't take long, like pasta, anything like that. Like you know exactly how that all works. So
Right. Like what time to put everything on to prepare a meal so everything's ready at the same time.
yeah, so it's like if you're going to peel potatoes, you're going to do that first, right? Because it's going to take the longest, especially if you have a big pot. Then you're going to go on to the next thing, next
Yeah.
thing, next thing. That's what I mean by that. So, but that's what I mean, like just either or with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Down. I'm always down.
and if your shadow shows up, Trevor Corey,
Where I go, Trevor Corey goes. You know that.
then it's like not a big deal.
Yeah.
I can always use her to peel potatoes.
She's a good little helper.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I mean. Like, if I can get into that, then I'll definitely give you guys a ring.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm always ready for a challenge.
Hmm.
Plus, yeah, I don't know. Something new, something different too, right? Like it's every day, same thing. It gets hard after a while.
It gets hard just because the kind of the
Yeah.
mundane, I guess,
Yeah.
kind of effect where you just feel like you're like, oh.
It's like that movie Groundhog Day. I'm just kidding.
Wake
I'd
up.
electrocute myself every night in the tub. No.
Wake up. Okay. It'd be awesome.
No, but yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I'd like to do something too.
Well, yeah, because I guess it'd be something different to try out.
And it'd be good to put the skills to use, right? Like you said, got these skills, went to school, certified, might as well, do something with it.
Man, this, I mean, where you're at and where I was before, it's very limiting.
Yeah.
And now that I've left there, I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, you're really limited, and to the point where it's not even like, well, you still get to do something now. No, you're really, really limited.
It's so like strict.
Yes, because you're stuck to like a
Specific guidelines,
this.
specific.
There's a book actually that will open up this much. Like it's like when you think back to it, it's so military.
Yeah.
Because even when I cook now, I still use skills from there. So I'm very strict with all my stuff. Like I have to do this, I have to do this. Like I'm very strict because 5 years I've just been like, I got to break out of this.
You're
yeah,
conditioned.
I'm conditioned. Even like I thought I thought I was gonna like jump into another job. Right away. I was like, it's gonna be so military because that place to me, that's what it felt like. Get here at 7. I'd get there 5 minutes before in the morning or 11:30 and clean everything. It was like so. I mean, it's good skills to have, but at the same time, it was just demanding and strict. That's all.
And it's the biggest thing for me is like time restriction. Like it's so. I still have a hard time with time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm constantly watching the clock. I'm setting a timer for 10 minutes just to remind me that, like, okay, where are you at? What are you doing? Constantly checking what needs to be done. How many, of this do I have to make still? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Like, trying to find time to do all the said tasks in one day and check it all off on this list. And you know what I mean? Like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, if you don't leave that work and you're not tired and sore, then you're not working.
It's true, isn't it?
You're not fucking dead tired at night and you just want to sleep and
Just just like lay back.
Yeah.
No, it's true though. I know what you mean. Because it's like I think that's what it was like every time.
And I find afternoon shifts are harder because the amount of cleaning that's at the end of the night. Like, I don't know. It's a lot.
I know what you mean, Holmes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited to try something new and get out there. I still haven't booked my test yet. Josh harasses me every day.
Did you book it? Did you book it?
Did you book it? Like, no. He's like, why not? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you better book it. I'm like, fine. So I'm going to book it next week. I'm going to call there and book it, because I only have until April, and it will be 1 year, and I have to have written it within 1 year. So I'll try that. And if I fail, I fail. If I don't, whatever. He's like, you only need a 70. I was like, I can do 71. Walking off the streets and get a 71.
How often you look at those freaking
I've
phone
not.
book of cards he's got?
There's like 5,000 cue cards.
It's insane how much he did.
5,000 cue cards. There's a textbook. There's a DVD.
Is it Josh like, is what you want to do? I would watch that so many times in a day.
It's not Josh, but I wish it was. I'm going to tell him that. I'm like, I need you to make me a personal video. But it's funny.
It'd just be so awkward.
Because he's always like, he's so knowledgeable, right? Like, he knows what every piece of equipment is called.
Yep.
Like, he blows my mind. He knows what every piece of
I
equipment.
swear he knows the French version and like the German version to every single thing.
He's like the Rain Man of kitchen. Right?
He's like, sandwich on Monday, sandwich on Tuesday, sandwich on Wednesday, sandwich on Thursday.
And even like with a recipe or something, I'll be like, Josh, like, how do I break all these numbers down? And like, you know, it's saying if I'm going to make this in bulk, I need like 5 kilograms of this and that. I was like, how do I break it all down? And he's like, oh, give me a minute. And then all of a sudden he turns into like a beautiful mind, and he's like on the whiteboard, like all these freaking equations and stuff, right? It's like, and then like 10 minutes later he comes back to me and he's like, okay, you need to use 1.5 cups of this and 2 cups of this. And I'm like, holy fuck, you're amazing, right?
I know, even I'm like, conversions, I'm just like, I don't know. Just switch the volume.
Right? And he's always like, come on, it's fractions. You know fractions. I was like, dude, fuck, I eat pizza, I eat pie, but I don't know fractions.
It's like sometimes I cut 9 slices. What do I do?
It's like, I have to eat one just so it's equal.
I was like, there we go. As I wipe the grease from my mouth.
Yeah. It's like, no one will ever know. But yeah, so he's always like telling me stuff, and then I'll be doing something and he's like, oh, no, you need to do this, or you need to do that. And I'll look at him, I'll be like, is this on the test? So that's my big thing to him now. He asks me questions or something. I'll be like, is this on the test?
It's just going to be there.
He's just like, shut the hell up. Yeah, it's cool.
It's nice as ice. Mm-hmm. I know I applied for a video game studio downtown.
Did you get in?
No.
Why?
I don't know. It's never called back.
Oh.
I sent the resume. I couldn't even remember what it's called. That thing with my name on it.
I sent the thing about me.
Talked about past work. That thing went in, but they had one of the greatest questions ever, where it's like, what games are you playing right now? And I'm like, oh snap, here's the list.
I'd have been like, yo, I'm a player.
These are their names.
Who ain't I playing? What's your dad's name? No, I'm just kidding.
And then I applied for a child care service, like cooking for kids, but
I like a daycare?
London Bridges. But I applied and didn't even realize it was closed already.
Oh.
And then I think my brother Snow told me it reopened, because he was on Indeed looking around. And he said, I think that one reopened. And I just totally forgot to re-go. And I don't know if it's still open. I might check it again. But because reading what you have to do, it's like cooking from elders to cooking to kids, because it'd be basically the same thing.
That's
almost.
what I was saying. Like, I used to cook at Head Start, right?
Yep.
So it's weird now because I'm at long-term care. It's kind of like I got to see both ends of the spectrum, right? Like, you get to see all these little babies and cook for them and how they eat. And,
Yep.
And then now I'm here and I got all these elders and I'm like cooking for them, see how they eat, you know? And it's kind of like, holy crap, it's lots of similarities, right? You know, but it's also an eye-opening experience. Like, this is, you know, the start, this is the end, you know, 'cause I got to see both those aspects, so that's good. Blessed that way, I guess.
Yeah, because the other one was the military, the London base in
That would be hype.
London. Because the only thing,
Like, where do I sign up?
the only There's a couple of I guess one of the not requirements, but one of the things I think is well, the requirement is you do have to take their physical basic test
Right.
to make sure you're in shape. Because I guess if somebody starts terrorizing London, you got to be like
You'd be
Cuba
like,
Gooding Jr.
yo.
Pearl Harbor and be like they're shooting at
I was
people.
thinking more of Steven Seagal when he's the chef on the boat.
I'm just a cook.
I'm just a cook.
I'm just a cook.
He's fucking breaking arms and shit. I'm just a cook.
As I'm like lifting my gut off people, I'm just a cook.
Hey, he was a little heavy in that movie, but
Right.
he still could break an arm, okay?
There's a lot of editing for when he had to stop and take a breather. I'm just a cook, damn it.
I don't know why people hate him. He's beautiful.
I don't know. I think he's just one of those people that's funny to make fun of. That military one, that was the other thing too is they might ship you off. Like they might be like there's a base
We need you to go cook for
out
him.
in Newfoundland, so go out there, and then I'm out in Newfoundland being like, why am I?
So you're basically signing up for the army, but you're just a cook.
Yeah, they're not sending you overseas, so far as I know. They're just sending you.
Just call me from China. Hey, buddy.
It's like they sent me all the way here.
I'm in China. I
was
tell
like, I know,
Trevor Corey
it's
I'm
not-
looking for her family now.
Turn around, I think I found them.
Trevor Corey's everywhere.
Because it's what would it be? Yeah, if a college is like it's 9 a.m. here, but I know it's about it'd be what?
It'd be the next
3
day there, isn't it?
I'm in the future, you're in the
Yeah.
past. That's what it would be. Yeah, like, hey, I'm calling you from the future. You can win the lottery. Pick these numbers.
Biff, is that you?
Put it in, hang up.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I don't know, like I said, those are just
I would try that, but like I said, the downfall would be like if they did ship you out somewhere,
because
right?
that's what it doesn't say it on there, but I actually went to their website where the thing tells you to go, and that's where it said this woman was like, oh, I was living in Quebec and I signed up, blah blah, did the trading stuff. Now I'm in BC cooking, and I was like, okay. And then another person was like, oh, I was out of Toronto. No, I'm in Calgary, and I'm just like, so they just throw you anywhere they need people, I guess. And
That's
the
scary.
the levels, there's like I think 5 levels, and if I'm not mistaken, I could actually be already at the top because there is a manager position, and because I have a culinary management diploma, I could probably go to the top. But I think it's gonna come down to how much experience you got. Give me those Kermit eyes.
It was like, I'll show you under the desk.
It's like, hi ho. It's Kermit the Frog, and I just start giving it.
Right?
Oh my god,
Sorry.
that was for me. No, just kidding. Calling for you. They're like, we don't need you today. No, just-
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you're fired over the phone. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So that's my biggest thing is I'll wait to see. About that catering life.
Yeah. Because I'm down for that.
Because like I said, that or... Like even if you're like, I'm going to be gone or... I don't know, I can't really see you being gone somewhere at the moment. But like if it were, I could just see if Josh would do it.
Right.
Because I think Josh would be down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, my biggest thing right now is I'm just focusing on my own like health, well-being, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, of course, you have
Just
to.
going to work just to go to work, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I've got training to do and other things to try and get where I want to be.
Yeah.
Goal chasing.
Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals, yes.
Mm.
Which sometimes may include crushing souls, apparently, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Speaking of training, how's that going with the team?
It's going pretty good, right? You were there on Monday, so I thought it was okay, you know, and I like the fact that the girls speak up for themselves, like Casey and Jacqueline, they speak up for themselves and say, you know, I need time for myself right now, or I'm overwhelmed, I'm frustrated, like I got, you know, my kids, my home, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to go to school, you know, and I think that was the whole point for me was I wanted them to feel like there's always a place, you know. Don't ever feel like, oh, just because you're a young mom that, you know, you don't have a life and you don't have to, you know, to go do this or do that or go on outings or, you know what I mean? And that's why I always say, you know, babies welcome. Like if you see any of our pictures and when we're working out and all this, there's always, our babies are always there. We always include pictures of them in our posts and, right? And like, what kind of fitness groups do you see where that goes on?
No, because even if they do pictures, there's not, the babies aren't there. Like
Yeah.
if there happens to be like a mother there.
Yeah. And it's kind of just like your mother instincts just kick in, right? Because there's like 4 or 5 of us there and, you know, somebody's doing one-on-one with the trainer and somebody's doing this and, oh, your baby's crying. It's like, you know what? You don't even think like, oh my God, my baby's crying, I gotta stop. Because as soon as you look over and you see your baby crying, there's already a mom that's not doing something on, you know, over there saying, oh, baby, you know, like comforting the baby.
Yeah, it's a support.
Somebody's always watching the kids. Somebody's always, you know, it's like a constant rotation.
Yeah, it's a support for everybody.
There's enough of us that we can rotate off and one can do, you know, caregiving, one can do the training, one can be on another set of training, one can be doing cardio stuff and, you know, and it just seems to work out. I'm hoping once the weather gets nicer and we can get back outside, it will get better too. Because I know like it's hard in the winter to get out with strollers and everything, right?
I know I've seen them when they're coming and everyone's like,
yeah, and they
up
get
on
to
a
bundle up
stroller.
your babies.
Yeah,
and-
because it takes more time, right? As opposed to just
Yeah.
like throwing them in there,
Yeah.
give them a rock bottom in the stroller and
yeah,
out the door right away.
yeah, and even like in the summer, like even you throw your kids on their bikes and they can ride over to where we're all gonna meet. And it's like a nice central area where we meet, and it's open space, and it's in like a tennis court that's the gate locks, so it's like we don't have to worry about like kids running away or, right? So that's another good thing. But yeah, right now personally I'm doing like training for a 5K. I signed up for London City Road Races. I think it's April 29th, and yeah, it's killing me. My body is like was really mad at me on Monday because I was like pretty bad on the weekend. I had like some wine, I had like some Panzerotti, and I had, like I was out of control, right?
So it's spice of Panzerotti.
I know when people think, oh, you had Panzerotti, they think like this big jumbo Panzerotti. But for me, eating Panzerotti is probably having like a 1-inch piece and then dying because it's too much, right? But you know what I mean? But it's still, I got on the treadmill. I start running and I was like, oh yeah, like 10 minutes into it, and I was like, felt like my lung. Oh, I was smoking too. I felt like my lungs were like phlegming up and like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, and I was like, what the fuck's wrong with me? But it was my body, right? It was like,
yeah, because of all the stuff you were doing. Yeah.
all the shit I did to it on the weekend, and it was like, oh, you want to fucking put shit in me? That's not good. This is what I'm gonna do to you, right?
Yeah, it's gonna backfire out.
Yeah,
just like,
so it is true. What you put in, your body does feel like when you don't eat clean and healthy.
Yeah, because you need to like put fuel in it, right? Like proper. Otherwise, it's just gonna gas out pretty fast.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, holy crap. I really felt that 10 minutes in on the treadmill, and I was like winded, and I was like freaking, I swear I was like phlegming, and I was like, what the fuck? And I start thinking like, did I have anything dairy today? I was like, no, I didn't. Because usually, you know how when you like drink dairy and then you try work out, you get all phlegmy, right? It's like,
Start being a cat.
yeah.
Hairball at the
Yeah.
gym.
Then I met with a personal trainer on Monday, and it was pretty sad because he's like, you have 0 upper body strength. You suck at freaking this.
Just tears you down.
He was like totally honest with me and blunt, and I loved it. But at the same time, I kind of left there feeling defeated because I was like, holy shit, did all this for the last, it's going to be 2 years in June. That I like changed my lifestyle, changed my habits, had my surgery.
Yeah.
And for him to tell me all this stuff. But then I started thinking about it, and he's like, yeah, the average person can do a plank for 2 minutes. He's like, you did 48 seconds. And I was like, okay, thanks, right? But to me, I was like, I was proud of myself. I was like, I think back on it now, and I'm like, I could never have even done 2-second planks. But here I am doing 48-second planks. And to me, that's fucking awesome, right? Then you
That
say,
takes a lot of body strength too, like upper body to do
yeah.
that.
So if I have zero upper body strength, but I can do a 48-second plank, that's pretty damn good, right?
I just wonder though where the trainer's coming from. Like if it's like one of
Um,
those hard approaches where it's like, you're garbage in your face the whole time.
This is world gym, not baby gym.
It's almost like, I just deadlifted 200 pounds. That was nothing.
He's like, yeah, I got 70-year-old grannies up in here deadlifting 120. And I was like, okay.
I'd be like, where are they? And I would like ran a clothesline and boom!
I said, I had to Goldberg that bitch. No, just kidding. I think you're a bad granny. No.
It's like, deadlift that.
No, but it was like, I don't know. It's like, told me like my posture's off and my shoulders are weak, that I need to concentrate on pulls, the equipment that have pulls, not pushes. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Like I said, my head was spinning. I was mad. I was upset when I left.
Did he at least give you something to work with? Like
No,
a
he
list?
said he told me for $5,000 twice a week for 1 year, he would have me beast mode in the ultimate machine. And I was like, okay.
$5,000
For $5,000, I was
a
like,
year.
I was like, do you realize for $4,800 I can get nice boobies? Why would I spend $5,000 at Good Life? Also, please check out my GoFundMe account for boobies. Thank you. Just had to throw that in there.
I was like, yes. It's like the more you donate, the better the price.
We want that good finished product. Okay? But yeah, I thought that was outrageous, right? Like,
I never heard of such a
tear you
nonsense
down,
thing.
break you up, and then tell you they want $5,000.
Maybe his technique was to tear you down so you feel so bad to be like, okay, I'll do it because like I don't want to feel horrible about myself. But I was like, that just doesn't work with everybody. Like to like,
Right.
you're garbage in your face. Like I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna leave now. I don't feel want to be hurt anymore. So like, I guess I can understand where that guy's coming from, but it's just a weird approach to it.
Right.
But $5,000, I'm like, I would just ask, can I ask how many people actually paid for that? Cause
Right. And then he had like this whole statistics, can't even say the word, statistics speech where he's like, yeah, 1 in 5 people join the gym, 1 in 3 quit 2 months after. The average amount of time a person goes to the gym decreases as the months go on. After 3 months in, you're usually only coming once or twice a month and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, like, why are you telling me all this stuff, right? Like, you're telling me like I'm setting myself up for failure if I don't sign up for this $5,000 program.
yeah, like I said, it just sounds like a weird approach.
Yeah,
Like he's trying
and
to
like,
make you
and
feel
what was
horrible.
even more weird was like the whole point of me going to see this guy, making this appointment, was I wanted to know how to work machines. I just wanted somebody to show me, like, okay, come, this is this machine. This is how it works. When you come here, you need to set this pin here. You need to, adjust the seat properly to this position. Like, that's what I was expecting. And that's what I still need. That's what I'm still looking for. Right? So if you're available, we need to do this.
Like I said, I got time. I mean, besides...
And I'm not going to lie, I've been staring at this treadmill since I got here.
Well, I got my kettlebell next to it, too.
Next
so.
time we're doing podcasts, I'm going to treadmill.
You'll be on it when you're talking, and I'm standing
like,
there next to you. It's like, everybody, I promise she's not dying.
No, this is a hype fucking treadmill.
Actually goes up, too, so inclines.
I did an incline one day. I did, I think I was at level 9 incline. And I went like 15 minutes, and oh my God, I almost killed myself.
I was just doing yoga before you got here.
I would like to learn that.
I actually got that book right there. You can see it on the ironing board. Is a book called No Gym Required book, and it's actually with nothing but just in your house, in a hotel room, in like a plain space like this. You do nothing but just these, and you can still build muscle. You can still burn fat, but just doing these.
Yeah, and I need to build lean muscle.
And the yoga in there, that's what I was doing. Because my lower back actually doesn't really hurt anymore now because I've just been doing the yoga in there. So still got to do kettlebells today. So, but yeah, so like stuff like that. I mean, like I said, which gym is it?
Good Life.
Downtown?
Anyone. I usually go to the Colonel Talbot one because it's close to on my way to work and on my way home. Southdale and Colonel Talbot, No Frills, Dolcettos, Libro. Everything's all in there.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay. I was just like, Colonel Talbot. I was like,
If you're thinking Lambeth,
Flying
M, I used to work there.
I was thinking about the highway with that hotel next to it. I was like, why way out there? Like, there's nothing. But I was like, wait a minute. No. I was like, okay, further. And like, oh, okay, now I know which one now. Yeah, just find out how much a guest is. Because I'll just show up as a guest. Yeah. That one's pretty hardcore, too. Because, like, when I saw Ronnie Coleman at Spartan, there was a guy from Good Life. And he was like, hey, you work out? And I was like, no, I'm just here to stare at Ronnie Coleman. Oh. And I was like, no.
I just want to touch his body.
And he was just like, well, you want to go to the gym? And I was like, with you? I was like, okay. So we started talking, and I was supposed to go there because I was supposed to get 3 free sessions.
Right.
But I never went because I was already at Wellington, and I felt like, I don't want to cheat on Wellington here. So.
Right.
But
it's like, I'm not a cheater.
Me and Forest City Fitness have an open relationship, so as long as it's helping somebody else. So I'm like, okay, well, me and Forest City Fitness, we know what we're doing. So
yeah.
If you go to Good Life, yeah, like just find out how much, because I think usually it's $20.
Okay. Yeah, like, I'll find out. Because
we'll go on a day where we're both off. Because you know me, I'm working so hard that you have a day off and I'll meet you there.
Yeah, and plus it's better to go like day hours, like work hours, because after 5, my gym is just retarded.
I was going to say, yeah, I know it's crazy past 5 o'clock. Because my gym, it's between 4 and 5, it gets super crazy, and by 7:30 it starts dying really fast. Yeah. But in those hours it's prime because everyone's off work, but if we go like at 12, probably 1, maybe even 1 o'clock, or if you want to go earlier, it doesn't matter, but like any time between I think like 10 and 2 is probably the best time.
Yeah,
we'll go when there's less people. That way we can just jump on a machine, know how to use it, jump on a machine, and you just show me what you want to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about this pull, and I know of pull and push days, as they call it. There's a day specifically where you pull everything. Right. Where it's like deadlifts, the pull down lat machine, the pulling of the dumbbells, everything. Then there's
that's
push.
What I mean. Like he was talking to me like I was like a freaking fitness guru expert or something, like throwing all this shit out at me. Like I'm like
okay. I know she just stepped off the stage for Mr. Olympia, but I'm gonna tell her all this stuff.
It's like you just don't get a physique like this overnight. No.
That sounds like such a weird thing, but. So yeah, like I said, we could do that for sure. Because if he didn't show you, then
because it was like really weird. Yeah, like I have like zero mobility and flexibility and freaking he was like, oh, lay on my table, or he's like, do lunges for me. So I did like 2 little lunges. He's like, now do 2 squats, and I did 2 squats. He's like, yeah. He's like, you're not even hitting 90 degrees, and I was like, okay, like, what does that mean, like? And he's like, lay on my table. And I was like, okay.
look up and down. Okay.
I was like, you're hot. I'll lay on your table. No, just kidding. And he's like, grabs my legs. He starts like stretching my legs out. I'm like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, I'm just opening up your hips. And I was like, holy fuck.
His eyebrows go up and down.
He's like, I'm not a killer or anything. No, just kidding. But I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like, yeah, so, he did that. Like, whatever. He's like, I'm a trained kinesiologist. He's like, I'm just going to open up your hips.
I'm going to need some credentials first. That's how it said.
Like, did I say 2? Better make it 3. So then he's done whatever. And he's like, okay, now come try this again. He's like, stand here. He's like, now watch yourself in the mirror. And he's like, do your thing, whatever. So I did that. And he's like, see? He's like, can't you feel that? He's like, isn't that much better? And I was like, honestly, I don't feel anything different, but okay. Then he's like, all right, now I want to see a push-up. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, I know you can do a push-up. So I was like, all right. So I got down there, tried to do like my push-up because I suck. And then he's like, yeah, that's all wrong. And I was like, holy fuck.
That's all wrong.
He's like, your hands want to be like closer into your shoulder. He's like, right now, he's like, all you're doing is you're working your shoulders. He goes, a push-up is supposed to work your chest. He's like, so if you're not feeling it in your chest, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, okay. So I said it was just like...
It sounds weird because it's almost like his weird strategy makes it sound like he wanted you to feel inferior to him. Yeah. Like he's just like saying all this stuff because you're like, well, I don't know what this means, but I guess I could if I paid $5,000.
Yeah.
Like,
so I was like, I don't know about this either.
It's like, I know I say this because I know I've been slacking a little, but I still feel like that's what Get Ready's for. You don't have to pay $5,000 for
Right?
something that, I don't know, like, I understand that's some people's business, but $5,000 two times a week, it still makes me go like, I don't know.
Is that even? It's like $50 a session. Is that
Like,
what it works out to?
I think usually, yeah. I mean, my gym at Forest City Fitness, I'm pretty sure I seen a advertisement once for 3 sessions was $190. But I think it was 2 hours per session.
Right.
So you're actually paying for not only the session, but the hours as well. And that was a deal there. So I don't know how that works out, but that was 3 sessions, 2 hours per session. I'm pretty sure it was 2 hours. But
Yeah, and it was like he had like this program was like some kind of pyramid thing where like they do this, do this, do this. There's like 4 or 5 phases, and he's like, yeah, this is what they used to do to train the Olympic athletes and all this and that. And I'm like, holy fuck, like I'm not looking to like be Olympic athlete. I just want to know how to work these fucking machines.
that was the whole purpose of, even I'm entrapped in this story. I'm like, whoa, and then stop and went, yeah, she's right. She wants to tell me a machine. Guy just screwed you over.
Right?
Can I know how they work the machines? Oh yeah, get the Terminator. It comes out. Never mind the machines. Let me fucking destroy you and your confidence.
It's like, what's that? Yeah, you've been working out. You lost 94 pounds. That's nice. You suck. Fucking horrible.
That was, like I said, weird. So, like, we'll just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll check it out. I don't know if I'm going today because I'm on late shift, but tomorrow.
Well, I say we'll figure it out when sometime. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Because I'm either here or in town, either one or the other.
So right now my goal is just 3 times a week to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or just get there. You know, I used to be like, oh, I want to go 4 times a week for 40 minutes, blah, 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 this and that. But my life it's crazy, whatever. So I'm like, some days I'll go there and I'll just run for 15 minutes and then have to go to work. Go there, run for 20 minutes and I have to go to work.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, somebody's like, oh, well, you know what, you only went for 15 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, any minutes is better than no minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you do today? Right? Like,
I crushed this bag of chips.
yeah. It's like, I ate 5 chips and stuff. No, just like my fitness pal. I put all my food on there. And you seen the one where I was like totally honest and I put 10 chips on there?
Hey, all right, that was 10.
It's like, know your limits.
Know your limits.
Yeah, but I like that app, but I also hate it because it's so accurate and truthful and
Makes you accountable though, right?
Yeah.
Because my brother Snow started doing that. I told him to do that. And once he started doing that, for about 2 months, I think he lost almost 20 pounds. But that was just tracking his calories and food.
right.
He works out, but he has this weird Batman workout where he literally works out at 2 in the morning in the basement. He does jogging, he does weights and stuff, but it's in the basement in the middle of the night. So I'm just like, all right, Batman, keep training.
Holy fuck.
But I'm just like, but he tracks all his food.
It's like, I'm pretty sure there's a cult for him.
But he tracks all his food and he's lost a lot of weight. So I'm like, well, that's all it is. And it's being accountable because there's times he's looked at his book and was like, I did horrible. I don't even want to write what I did. But I'm like, it helps you. And yeah, it does. Like, I mean,
It's honesty, right? Like, you got to be honest to yourself if you want to be successful. That's the one thing I found. I could lie to myself and be like, oh, I'm going to eat this bag of chips, but I'm going to run later, so it's okay. Like, you can't have that kind of mentality, right? You got to be like, look at like, okay, yeah, this cheeseburger is really fucking yummy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I could have 2 pieces of nice chicken, right? Do I want 2 pieces of nice chicken or do I want fucking 10 chips? Like,
and I think that
it's like empty calories. People don't realize empty calories.
And I think another big thing too is eating the chicken is going towards your goal. Taking the chips is like not going anywhere.
Yeah, shoot yourself in the foot because you ain't going to be on a treadmill for 3 days.
Yeah, because it's kind of like discipline, right?
Yeah.
It's discipline. It's like understanding that this is my limit. I don't want to overeat. I don't want to overdo this. So.
Yeah, but have cheat day. Like, I don't mind.
Yeah,
Like, have
exactly.
a cheat day. You know, do something.
Or
Reward
meals.
yourself. If you do make your gym commitments and if you do make your activity commitments and your food commitments for the week, then why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't go extreme and fucking morning till fucking midnight binge fucking eat. But yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I lost 5 pounds this week, but I gained it all back on Saturday.
I lost 5 pounds. I deserve a cheat meal, and it's
Yeah.
like everything you weren't gonna eat
And
just in
it's
one
like
meal.
buffet 3 times in one day or something. Like,
I'm ready to go back.
there's limits, right? Like,
Yeah.
people need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, it's 20 after 11. Should we wrap this up?
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay. So we'll do it again next time for sure. Could be even next week, whenever. We'll do another one for sure, closer, sooner.
Yeah.
We'll do on a bunch of other subjects as well. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty. And we'll see everybody next time.
Peace out.
It was short. It was awesome. And if you liked it, don't worry, she'll be coming back. Because I can tell this is going to be probably an episode everyone's going to just listen to over again. So now that we went through that, like I said, it was a fantastic episode. I had a great time doing it. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have another one. We're have another one sooner than you think. We'll be back on. And once again, make sure you rate and review the podcast. Gets out there more. Lets everyone know about this one, how great it is and everything like that. And if you want to be on the podcast, don't worry. All you got to do is drop an email to me at getready@gmail.com. That's getready with 2 R's at gmail.com. And like I said, once again, make sure you rate and review and get into it and everything like that. And don't worry, because we'll be going all over the place and we'll be helping out, doing whatever we can, get anybody, or if you know somebody that should be on the podcast and maybe they want to get something out there more, they have their ideas or anything like that, they like to get more and they want more people to hear about it, they can come on the podcast. I will gladly meet with them. So without that, or without, I don't know what I'm talking about here, but the point is yeah, it just feels like I'm rambling. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a good time, and I'm glad you're back listening to the podcast. Until next time, we shall get back to it.